Hello everybody, this is Zerda here with another Team Top Deck video. Today I'm going to be playing a little bit of Izzet Blitz, not Gates, doing a little bit of standard rank. So, to show you the deck, before we get started here, just, common courtesy and all, so you're going to be aware of what we're getting into. Let me see if I can remember how to change the layout. Oh, there it is. Alright, so here's the deck. 4 shocks, 1 maximize velocity for the gotchas with the Drake over there. 4 copies of Opt, we need cheap spells. 4 copies of Sprite Dragon. 1 copy of Glimpse of Freedom, kind of to just round out the cantrip suite, and I'm not entirely sure what else I might want there. I'm thinking maybe a Bone Crusher Giant, maybe some extra removal like Blitz of the Thunder Raptor, which is absolutely absurd, especially in this deck. But I'm trying to be a little less control-y, a little more aggressive here. This is a budget build, after all. This here, Cathartic Reunion, just really good at pitching Phoenixes and excess lands. Thrill of Possibility, once again, pitching Phoenix, excess lands, just a cantrip. Winged Words, I'd consider going up to 4. If so, drop the Glimpse of Freedom. It's just, when you don't have a threat, it is a little more expensive. When you do have a threat, it just helps you really churn through the deck and start getting back Phoenixes. So say you get a Sprite Dragon down on 2, Winged Words on 3 might not grow the dragon as much as, more 1-drops if we had access to them. But it will, fill up your hand more, give you more to discard to your other cantrips, and really just get things rolling. Phoenix needs no real introduction, and Crackling Drake is, well, really damned good. Now, this is built with what I consider to be the absolute minimum number of rares you could realistically use to not lose any power. I think this deck is, this version of this deck at least, is maximum power at a budget, so maybe I don't have the absolute best build of it. In fact, I would be astounded if I do, if I'm going to be frank, but it's definitely the place I would start. So, you do need good mana. That's just something that you shouldn't be willing to compromise on. Being able to cast your spells at all is incredibly important. I suppose you don't lose too much if you change the Fabled Passage specifically. No, I wouldn't change Fabled Passage if you didn't have the rares. I'd change the Temple of Epiphany into a tap land. Maybe do a little bit of both, because Fabled Passage can be awkward in the early game. But you need those steam vents. So you're going to need at least those 4 more rares for, another land and the Phoenixes. But compare that to, let's even just head over to another deck, please ignore the name, where you have a rare there, you have 4 more rares there, some mythics, some more rares, and then you have a 3-color mana base. So it's really, really affordable for this format. And even just in general. And, you don't want to be spending your hard-earned stimulus check on just being able to play one deck in Arena. You could build this basically just by grinding, which is basically what I did. Meant I had to skip a few drafts for packs for wild cards, but oof. Anyway, let's take a look. I'm pretty sure this is a keep. It's just a little unfortunate we don't have any real card draw, which is why I was hesitating there. If I think this Flame Sweep was any of our cantrips, this hand would have been snapped off. Alright, I rid of Life's Bounty to protect their lurris. That's kind of disgusting. I'm not sure it's the scariest thing they can be doing, but it's definitely not something I want them to be doing. And another Flame Sweep. Just good removal spell against them, specifically, that doesn't kill any of our creatures, because it's only creatures we don't control that don't have flying. Sorry, creatures without flying that we don't control. You know what, just I'll have you read the card, because I messed up twice now. words are not my friend today. So, well, that's concerning. Alright, so I'm tempted here to shock that instead of waiting with the flame sweep, but I think I get more value if I just hit them for one. And, you know, go for it when there we go. I'll let them get a card draw. The tempo blowout is worth it. Oh yeah. And that's what we wait for, folks. The blowout. That would have been quite terrifying. I have no idea what they're doing there, but whatever it is, it scares me. We're out here trying to be the aggressor, and they're out there trying to gain all the life in the world, while also being pretty damn aggressive themselves. Alright, they're not gonna like how this one ends. Alright. Enchanted creature? Alright, just making sure it doesn't include enchantment creatures. That would be pretty bad. Yep, and they have seen enough. Looks like that game is ours. Alright, got to gold 3. I really have not been playing enough Constructed this time around. Kind of just jumped back onto Arena fairly recently. And, well, it shows. Was doing a lot more, what do you call them, drafts before this? The, Theros. So, wish I hadn't burned through all my wild cards. I think I'm going to keep this off the power of Thrill of Possibility on the play, discarding Arclight Phoenix. It's not exactly a fast hand, but this hand is going to change a lot by the time we'd be able to do something besides Thrill. Hopefully we don't need, like, turn 1 interaction. Doesn't seem we did. No, I don't think I'm gonna Cathartic. There's nothing they can do if we just wait. So give them as little information as possible. Making sure that wasn't like the, you know, only counts permanence kind of deal you get with some of the companions. Alright, alright. This is pretty powerful. Sprite Dragon does work. They're probably going to Bone Crusher us, but we don't really mind. We have another Sprite Dragon, we have Crackling Drakes. And we really just kind of want to get in damage. They didn't do it. It leads me to believe it might have been a Brazen Borrower. Sometimes, you know, it's just better to hold your Brazen Borrower because, well, let's be honest, it just kind of does more on a more expensive threat. That means I'm going to play Sprite Dragon and Thrill of Possibility here instead of, let's see, I have a lot more red than I do blue, but when I have blue it tends to chain together, so I'm going to get an island. Meaning I'm going to deploy a cheaper threat instead of a more expensive threat to be able to get in here. And I'm going to Thrill, not Cathartic, so I'm waiting until after they declare no blocks. I don't think I want the Cathartic Reunion here. My hand's pretty good. You know, double Drake. And I kind of just want to keep churning through with these, so that Cathartic, even though it can discard some Phoenixes, it is a spell, which is better in this deck. I'm just not gonna go as far. Alrighty then. I don't know why they didn't do that last turn. Maybe they just drew it and they still have a Brazen? Alright. Fires is down. Oh, what is the scariest thing they can do to us? Yep, there's the Brazen. Well, scariest thing they could do to us was not Brazen Borrower or our Sprite Dragon. Let's see. Temple. I definitely don't want any more lands here. So I'm gonna go on a Crackling Drake. And pass turn. One upgrade I think you can make to this deck is playing Castle Vantress. It's not really necessary, and it can occasionally, you know, come into play tapped because this deck doesn't have the highest island or even land count. But what it does do is help you with some flood protection to find a threat. Oof, Elspeth Conquers Death. Not a card we wanted to see there. Alright, so... Oof. Followed by Cavalier. You're gonna get double pumped. That's gonna hurt. Alright, this is now a race. This is no longer us sitting idly back and kind of slowly deploying our threats at a reasonable pace. Oh? Oh, that sucks. I feel bad for them there. Not much I can really do about it. I guess if I get to 7, we'll know they'd won, but I do not know. Misclicks happen, and I've lost because of them. I'll take the wins because of them. I don't think I'm going to get that win because of it, though. Trying to see here if this is my best bet. I think it is. Yeah, it's just the green one that has reach. Gonna go Sprite Dragon, Cathartic Reunion, ditch 1 Drake, 1 Island, hope we can draw into a maximize velocity, haste out a Drake soon and get them as dead as we can. We want to draw specifically land opt here. Up. Oh. Always call your shots, kids. It is the best. It's good at letting yourself know, hey, I knew what I needed to draw to win there. I know what I was playing towards. And also, it looks really cool when it actually happens when you say it. So, we're not out of this by quite a bit, actually. Oop. See, call all your shots. All of them. If you miss, they'll think you were joking. If you hit, you just look cool. Alright, so now we might be winning this. Before I was a little skeptical, but we have the mana for Drake, and, oh, is that 2 more or 1 more? Oh, that's 2 more. We now need a land. But we have 2 draws to hit it. It just needs to not be a tap land. So, let's see what's gonna happen here. Give me a second. Need to cough. Just muted the mic there. Wanted to warn you in case I didn't manage to get there in time, and gonna be honest, my video editing abilities are incredibly lacking. By which I mean completely non-existent, but incredibly lacking sounds like I might have some, so, you know, might as well go with that one. Alright, there goes 1 threat. Pretty sure we're not getting that back next turn. Oh. Okay. Alright, all we need is a land and 2 draw steps. Untap land, 2 draw steps. Said land, and then draw temple. Alright. So now I'm thinking, how dead are we if we just don't? So let's see, 6, 7, 8, assume 9, play any of those, yeah, we'd be dead. Alright, so we gotta go for it. Oh, I am, no, yeah, 2 more. I think 2 mana total. Alright, and we got there. And their missed attack does not even matter. Hold on. Was I insane? I thought that was bigger earlier. I thought that was an 8. Oh, wait, no. That's what. I was counting 8 damage. There we go. And there you have it. That's why we play the Maximize. That's why we play this deck. You just get to win out of absolutely nowhere sometimes. That was definitely a stolen game, but the deck's pretty good at doing that. Alright, so here we go, moving on to the next one. I really wish I was capable of streaming, but if I was, I would have made every misplay imaginable in that game. I'm much better at videos. Yeah, well, I'll have to interact with you guys through the comments, so please feel free to leave them. I will respond to each and every single one. And if it gets to 1 billion, I will start crying and laughing at the same time because I'll be doing well, but I'll have no free time to enjoy it. It's like King Midas's curse there. You do too well for yourself, and you wish you weren't. Alright, let's see. Get an island. I don't need to do anything here, I don't think, so I really wish that I'd paid attention if I'd seen that was Garuda. I don't think I'd have kept a hand without Sprite Dragon, but it's a bit too late for complaining now. Because of that, I think I'm gonna opt during their end step. At least I have Flame Sweep to clear away any dorks they might play. There we go. Ah! About time they started playing something that can be a threat if you counter even a single spell of theirs. I don't need the shock because of the Flame Sweep. Oof. I should have cracked the Fabled Passage first. That is entirely my mistake. So let's see. I'm gonna wait. I think they might play another creature first. Actually, let's try and count up what we're doing here, because if I Winged Words, and then I want to play, yeah, no, I don't have the luxury of waiting. So here goes Island and pass turn. Because I was thinking, ooh, I could possibly, you know, cast this turn, and then next turn I, you know, get to sweep, but then I'm presenting a slower clock, so, oh, sad. I can't actually kill that one. Oh. Ah, they're holding up Growth Spiral. So they'll be casting that here, and I won't actually have, dealt with. Now the upside is, even if they Garuda, they need to, be really careful about it. Because if they mill too much, this Drake will kill them. Had that happen earlier. They could have taken one of my flyers, but oh, they got some greed in them, boys. They had some greed, and they decided they wanted to go all in on, you know, continuing to deck, and they didn't hit one of my flyers on the last one. So instead, they got hit in the face for 18 power. I think that was just a misplay on their part, but who knows? Maybe Garuda players go on autopilot for the combo. It's a very good deck, though. At least for early. I think they need to adapt more, like, with this, where they have threats that, you know, are just good outside of ramping them. Let's see here. I'm trying to talk while I make up my mind to not have dead air here. I think I'm gonna Thrill of Possibility away the mountain. Or I could Cathartic. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Cathartic away Cathartic mountain. Alright. Now I get to play a temple in case they don't continue decking. I would 100% like drawing that. Just a way to, you know, grow the Drake, bring back the Phoenix next turn. And as long as we're not dead, we have this 1-1, I think. Now, one thing they can do is they very, very well hand mill it. Oh, there's one Phoenix in the yard. So here, I think they're going to keep going. I think that is correct, too. Because they're not going to... No. I think what they need to do is bring back one of my flyers. Because they have me pretty dead to rights, otherwise they just need to block. So that was 100% a misplay on their end. They already had me facing a pretty mean clock. They could have upped that 7 to 14, take my Phoenix. I won't be able to get it back and hit them with it. But now they're just dead in the air. Like, this it's strange, but I think that... No, they say oops, but I'm not sure gaining life was a mistake there, because... No, yeah, it was, because blinking could have given them the blocker they needed. Alright, let's go with Cathartic. Submit 2. Thrill of Possibility. Pitch Phoenix. And we got there. 3 birdie boys. Swing all. And return the good game they gave us. Yeah, so they did goof up there. They should have blinked. If they could have hit one of my flyers, they would have been able to force me a little bit more onto the defensive. But I'm not sure... not really sure if I'd have gotten it from there or not, how my plays would have looked different. Wasn't paying enough attention in the moment to see. Try and evaluate the board state as it develops, but it doesn't really go well for looking back on what led to that decision. So I'm pretty sure this is a mulligan, like red spells, no red lands. So Magic 101, right? Oh, so this is definitely a keep. I'm gonna ship a mountain here so that on turn 3, if say I draw Phoenix and I Cathartic on 2, I'll be able to, you know, go Sprite Dragon plus Opt. Let's see. So here we're gonna want to find a Flame Sweep. It's really good in this matchup. Alright, so we're not gonna do that. They're just, you know, deploying threats. We didn't draw Phoenix, we want a Cathartic. Uh-oh. That card is really good against us because killing it is pretty painful. Alright. So Winged Cathartic sees the most cards, but we really don't want to cast it here. So I think we're leading on an Opt. Alright, we don't need a Shockland. Play an island, play a Winged Words, set up to try and deal next turn. Alright, so I do think this matchup is generally a little bit favorable for us, because they don't really have a great way of dealing with big air creatures. They're very good at blocking things on the ground, and they're very good at dealing with control decks, but them taking huge chunks of damage they can't block all at once tends to be their weak point, as I suppose it is with many decks, but this card in particular gives us some trouble because it grows really fast, gets really far out of hand. I think we're going to end up playing a Crackling Drake just to block it here, and we're going to do that... Yeah, we're going to do it post-combat. I was debating on pre-combat so that we'd have the information of what we draw and if we even need to keep getting in here. Not thinking anything in particular, but I think that's just wrong right now. Because I don't know of any way they have at instant speed to kill the Crackling Drake. And all we want to do is just keep that Butcher in check until we can put together enough power to kill them. That might be this coming turn. It might be a few turns from now. We will just have to see. Kind of depends on if our top card is a Phoenix or not, I suppose. All attacks. It really will not surprise me if this Crackling Drake dies, but if we don't block, I think it's more likely to die. Right now we're in a really Nice place with the power of this, by the way, because it doesn't kill the butcher and thus trade. Which means that we do have the opportunity to do quite a bit of damage this coming turn. So, depending on what we draw, we're going to be leading on winged words. If we draw Phoenix, there's some debate to it. Yeah, lead on the winged words. We really want to find a flame sweep. I think that would lock this game up. There we go. Alright, let's make sure I don't have any way to kill them, though. Discard 5, 6, 7. Nope, no way to kill him. K2, shock it in. So here, there is some debate as to whether or not we do it now or on their turn. Possibly hitting more, but I don't think it's worth losing 2 points of damage here. And attack with all. Now, no matter which one of our threats lives, they are dead on our next turn. Oh! Actually, I take it all back. We are dead. Active treason in the main. I was expecting Claim the Firstborn, not the 3-mana version. That is something I should have been on the lookout for, though, because I should have been paying attention to Claim as a possibility. Although it doesn't really matter what we did there, we were pretty... with the Flame Sweep, that is. We were pretty dead to that once we committed ourselves to attackers. Alright, let's see. Lurris. We do have a shock, we have a cathartic, and a winged words. One of the cards we'd be pitching is Maximize. I think I like this hand, especially on the play. It could definitely be a lot better, but this is just one of those hands that this deck makes you keep, because you start binning your cards pretty quickly, and, you know, building up for future plays. Alright, I don't actually think I'm going to want to keep the shock. I'd rather have a flame sweep. Shock is more of a Phoenix enabler. There we go. Well, speaking of both cards... Alright, let's see. So I think next turn is going to be a Thrill of Possibility, pitching the Phoenix, and playing a Tapland. Because I can't imagine any card they play this turn that makes me, you know, immediately go for it. Although a card I could draw... So let's see, if I play a Tapland, and they play a Dread Horde, then I'll wish I had Flame Swept. So I'm going to leave the possibility open, depending on what they do, without completely giving it away, even though that pause definitely did. And without taking extra damage. Alright, there is a Witch's Oven. So this is going to let them get their food value. I'm going to let them hit me for 2. I don't really mind. Fiend Artisan, eh? Well, there's a card that I just can't abide. Do not suffer a Fiend Artisan, people. Kill it on sight. That card being able to fetch up the cat when they don't have one, or just be an absurdly large creature, is not something you should be letting your opponent get away with. Punish that nonsense. And this is why we act in the end step, so they can't use that mana. Well, they did anyway, but so be it. Alright, so here, I like the play of Sprite Dragon Thrill. It's just unlikely we get the spells to bring back our Phoenix this turn, and this maximizes damage. Alright, so next turn we have a nice Sprite Dragon Winged Words turn. Getting in for 5, potentially 8 because of Maximize. Maximize is just a really good one-of to run. You draw so many cards that you'll basically see it in around half, maybe more of your games. And when you draw it, it's basically almost always live. Alright, so I am somewhat tempted to temple first, although it would mean there's no chance of us in getting it anyway. Which means I'm actually less tempted now that I think about it to try and go for the scry pre-winged words, because we'd rather set up for next turn, and using it after the draw will give us the most information on what we do and do not want. If we were capable of playing it, that's just a good draw. If we were capable of playing it this turn, we'd rather play the temple. Yeah, I want that. I can discard it to maximize. I could cast it if I need to. It'll still be live later. Yeah, all we really need is to put on the pressure. Maybe it's wrong to keep it on top. I'm not entirely positive on that. But we do have a discard outlet if we don't want to just cast it, which I think we're going to end up doing. And in the worst case scenario here, it gets pitched, it pumps our team. We're going to scry first this turn before any attackers. And before we cast anything, just to see if we want to flame sweep now or later. Oh, that is beautiful. That's going to give us an outlet to pitch some of these excess lands. Things like Thrill and Cathartic really let us load up on the land count above what you would normally want in a deck that draws so many cards, because they do filter through cards, and you want to be filtering through cards you don't want, not cards that you really would rather cast. Which is also why I'm going to stop playing lands here. I'm just debating, do I want to cast this Phoenix? Or do I want to try and bring it back with the other one next turn and flame sweep this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. If we could cast all of these. So let's see. I think it was wrong to 1, 2, 3, 4. No, there was no way for us to. So that's +3. Alright. Just going to attack here. And because we do have them just dead next turn, I don't need to flame sweep to pump. Which is a really fun way of looking at this card, if you want to see how absolutely absurd it is. I forget about food. But just the fact that this is a board wipe that pumps our team at instant speed tells you a little something. Oh. I am somewhat tempted to kill it and just take the 6, but that seems incredibly stupid, and like I'm just a little bit too much in the mindset of I like the greed. Yeah, that's definitely just me being in the I want as many cards as I can possibly get from every interaction, so I want it to resolve. Control player, usually, as you can probably tell from that mindset, but it doesn't look like I fell victim to my own biases there. Gotta be aware of your prejudices so you can call them out in all things, magic and life. Little bit of a life lesson there for you. Don't mean to get, you know, into harder core stuff here, but you should definitely always look at why you think what you think, because otherwise you are just probably going to be at the mercy of whatever people know why, and if you don't, they'll be able to use that against you to make you think what they want you to think. This could be just anything from a cult leader to news anchors. Sorry about that interruption there. I hope you could not hear what I said under my breath. Alright, so this is going to be the last game. This one is very, very close. It wouldn't be if this was an untapped land. I'm on the draw. Remember, always repeat to yourself, on the draw, when deciding on a hand. The reason I'm tempted is I have so much hand sculpt in here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 cards that help sculpt my game plan. And this hand can look so different that I kind of just want the cards. I'll keep. And, yep, that is the one. Alright, so this is either going to be some tribal deck, or it's going to be an absolutely terrifying, there we go, terrifying control-y ramp deck that just uses that, because you honestly should. Why not? It's a free 8th card. Companion is a very broken mechanic. I'm not going to say anything about whether or not it should be banned. I will leave that to people whose channels could, you know, afford backlash of any kind. Whereas I don't even have, I don't think I have a follower yet. Alright, let's see. So here, I think I would rather thrill away a land. Probably the Fabled Passage, because the Opt is better at bringing back Phoenixes, and I would like to Cathartic after that. I would also like to leave myself the ability to shock if they play something that I absolutely need to, you know, opt to deal with. I don't currently know what that would look like, but if I need to shock that Risen Reef, because of saying Omnath, I do not, though. I am still on the Thrill plan. I think this is going to be not a good matchup. They are drawing a lot of cards, ramping out big things, and Omnathing. Hold on, I thought that was when they had more lands than that. Yeah, if they control 8 or more lands. Oh no, that's rock. Okay. I did not understand on that. Alright. I think I gotta let this happen to me. Painful as it is. Gonna thrill now that there's nothing they could change their mind about. There's a Phoenix that we want a Cathartic. I'm going to pitch the Steam Vents as well, because the Steam Vents is just going to lose us this race. This is very much a losing battle, though. I am not entirely sure that we have a good way to get out from under this, but if we do, it's... oh boy. I can only hope the only thing they do is play that and get, well, 1 for 1, because they'll have had the 3 card there. Let me see. Cat, Elemental, Nightmare, Dinosaur, Beast. Nope. Unfortunately, I am an artist. Not that I listen to Drake. Ah. Well, it was too much to hope for that they wouldn't put a counter on their Risen Reef. Or 2 counters on their Risen Reef. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we're just dead here. So you see, if this was later in the game, we'd have had a shot. Alright, let's see. Well, whatever our chance at victory is, it does not revolve around playing a Crackling Drake as chump fodder. So, we're just dead if we play the Drake. So what I'm going to do is look to see if there even is the remotest possibility. I don't need to know if it's in my deck if it's not in my hand. Alright. Thrill. Discard a mountain, because we're not going to be able to use that. And I guess just in case I have any quests that require me casting red spells, I would like to cast a red spell. Remember, kids, maximum value for your maximum velocity. Let's see if they become terrified for some unknown reason and choose not to attack. You never know. It could happen. Also, it's always polite to let your opponent, you know, finish you off unless they're playing as a combo deck that obviously makes them completely miserable to even attempt to do any such thing. I say let them do it because you never know if they need their quests or not. Once they have declared the attacks, it's not really a problem anymore. I guess there's destroying creatures, so I should let them kill the Phoenix with a block. Never know if they, just want that gold quickly so they can log off for the day. Alright, let's see. Plus, they're probably having fun. Magic is a game. It's a big reef. Who said the oceans are dying? It looks completely fine where I'm at. Ignore that sad, sad elemental. Oh no, it's growing back too. See, there is no harm to our oceans. Our oceans are a harm to us. They will rise up and kill us for what we have done, as this one currently is. And we are dead. Woohoo! Alright. Well, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. You will possibly be the first. And in any case, I need to remember how you get out of here. It's not Control-Alt, it's Alt F4? Aha! Alright.